So this is a multi-time frame system. It's using 4 Renko charts. So we have a 25, a 15, and a 10, and a 4 Renko chart. All right, so BloodHound's going to run on the smaller time frame. So it's going to run on the 4 Renko chart. So, but first we're going to look for, right, the 25, 15, and 10 charts, you know, to all basically correlate. So to determine the overall, right, higher time frame. So, and then there are 4 indicators being used as well. So we have the Darvis indicators being used for support resistance. So that's our first screenshot here, right? So we can see we're looking for, you know, these bounces or, you know, right, reversals or pivots off of, you know, either the upper resistance line, you know, or the lower line. So, you know, we also have some bounces, you know, internally here not marked as well, but you know, part of it will also identify, you know, these other bounces off of the lower Darvis line. So let's see, we're also using the linear regression 10 period, and we're looking for, you know, for the linear regression to cross price. So here's a screenshot of our next example here. So actually, you know, in this screenshot, it actually looks more like price is crossing the linear regression, to be technical about it. So down here, I'm not quite sure, but anyways, I guess we'll kind of figure out how this is all working here by doing some testing. And then the next indicator is going to be the stochastics, and we're looking for the stochastics to cross the 20 or the 80. So here's our next screenshot. So we have the stochastics down here. All right, so we're looking for the stochastics to cross the 80 going down, or the 20 coming up. And then the last one is looking for a flat EMA. And this part, here's a screenshot for this. So this is a little subjective. You know, as we can see, the EMA actually is not flat. It's just oscillating up and down a lot. So, you know, so some other kind of indicator is going to be needed to detect, you know, what I guess Don considers this to be flat. So BloodHound is not a pattern recognition indicator. So, you know, BloodHound's not going to recognize this as a flat EMA because the EMA is not truly flat. It's literally bouncing and reversing up and down constantly. And that kind of makes sense with this EMA. Let's see what. Oh, there we go. So it is a fairly fast EMA. So it's a 16 period EMA, but also it's on Renko charts. So right, so Renko charts make big movements, can make big movements. So yeah, so that's definitely pulling the EMA up and down very quickly. So the EMA is never truly flat. So, you know, so we're just going to have to skip on this last component here because Don really didn't give me a solution for it. So, yeah, so that's kind of a rundown there. So what we'll do is we'll work on the multi-time frame part of it first, right? Looking for the 25, 15, and 10 charts all lining up basically, I guess, since this is a Renko chart, that would just be, the bar directions all lining up, all in agreement with each other. Right? So, all right. Yeah, I don't see a period setting for the Darvis indicator, so I'm just going to use the default. Yeah, the linear regression, I know it's a 10 period. Let's see, the stochastics. Yeah, I don't have any settings for the stochastics. We'll just use the default settings. And for now, we're probably going to skip the EMA here. So, okay, so let's see. We've got our BloodHound logic template set up for us. Next, let's set the chart up here. So we want, all right, so we're going to set our chart up to be a 4-brick Renko. I guess it kind of depends on the 25 brick chart. There may not be a lot of data, on 3 days, but we'll find out. All right, so first step is we're going to add these higher time frames here. So we're going to use, so on the solver tab, we're going to use the chart button there, and I'm just going to add 3 extra charts, and I'll just go in and set these up here. So let's see here. This is going to be didn't like that. So let's set this to a Renko. Where is our Renko? There it is. All right, brick size 10. Okay, next one. Renko, brick size 15. And the last one, there we go, and brick size of 25. There. All right, so we can see we got on our list a 10 Renko chart, 15 Renko chart, and a 25 Renko chart. And the default time frame, well, that's going to be our 4 Renko chart, right? As determined by the chart that BloodHound's running on, right? BloodHound is running on a 4 Renko chart, and so that is our default time frame here. All right, so now that we have these extra chart timeframes added, we can see down here we need to refresh the chart so that those timeframes can get loaded, so that NinjaTrader can build those timeframes. Okay, there we go. And yeah, so if we're just looking for, Renko charts to agree, I guess that's Renko charts is going to be, right, the bar direction. So, so I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the time frame so it's selected, and then select a bar direction solver and click the add button. There we go. So we have a bar direction on the 10 Renko. And so now, with the bar direction selected, I can hit copy and then select the copy and move it down, right? And we can see it just moved on to the 15 Renko chart. And then I'll copy that one and move it down again. So there we go. So we have a bar direction on each time frame. And on the default time frame, I'll add an extra bar direction here. I could, technically I could use the bar direction that's already on my list here, right? So remember this first bar direction, it was used by the previous question, the previous system. But I'm only adding this extra one just in case, somebody, wants to play around. If somebody wants to play around with the first system here, if you want to play around and you're going to make adjustments to this bar direction solver, right, which is this first one here, so if you're adjusting this one, I didn't want any adjustments to this to affect this next system that we're going to build, right? So this one can be adjusted and it won't affect this one, right? But if I use the same bar direction solver in both of these questions or systems, you know, if you change one, well, it's going to change the logic in the other system. So that's why I've created two separate bar direction solvers. Okay, so let's switch over to the correct logic template. Okay, so here we go. So let's add these bar direction solvers on the board. So we're going to the existing nodes. All right, and I went to the default time frame, which is our 4-brick Renko chart. Put that on there. Now I'm going to go to the 10 Renko chart, add that bar direction solver. Right? And if I zoom in, we can see it says 10 Renko right on top. So we know that this solver is running on the 10 Renko chart. And now let's go to the next time frame. Add that one. And the last time frame. And add that one. There. So now, to make sure that the bar directions for all time frames match up, we're going to plug them all into an AND node. And all right, yeah, so there we go. We can see when all 4 time frame, when the bar directions all kind of match up on all the time frames. And you know what? It looks like I need to load some more data on my chart here. So just a sec here. All right, now we've got lots of data on the chart. Okay, so there we go. We can see when all the time frames are lining up. And all right, so next, let's see. Let's get the indicators on the chart next here. So we need the Darvis indicator. Let's get that loaded on the chart. There's the Darvis, and let's see. Oh, all right. So the Darvis actually doesn't have any settings to it. Okay. Let's see the linear regression. Here we go. There's the linear regression, and let's adjust this to a 10 period. There's that. And let me make the plot a little thicker so it's easier to see. And yeah, let me adjust the Darvis as well. There. All right, next indicator, the stochastics. All right. Yeah, the instructions say that we're using the K plot. So let's go and turn the D plot off. So there we go. Set it to transparent. And let's make the K a little thicker so we can see it. There we go. All right. And yeah, we don't have a solution for the EMA, so I'll leave that off for now. All right. So let's click OK. All right. So we'll look for the basically price bouncing off of the Darvis for support and resistance here. So let's go back to our screenshot here that we have, right? There we go. So yeah, so we can see the price, the bricks bouncing off the resistance line here, and then price bouncing off of the support line. So let's build that condition in first. And here we go. Actually, we've got a couple of areas to work with there. Okay, there we go. A couple of spots to work with. All right, let's get BloodHound open. Switch over to the Logic tab here. All right, so let's see. I'm going to take this AND node and I'm going to rename it here. So you could think of this as a kind of like a time frame alignment, right? Okay, let's disconnect that. And I'll just set this off to the side for now. So looking at these kind of bounces off the Darvis. Hold on, let me make one more adjustment. Let's turn off the auto scaling here. Okay. All right, so what are bounces composed of? Well, first thing is the bar's reverse direction, right? Price reverses direction. So that's a pretty simple one. All right, so if we're looking for a reversal in direction, so we're going to go, right, we have a bunch of time frames now here. So we can see that we can select solvers on the default time frame, or we can add a new solver on the 10 Renko chart, or we can add a new solver on the 15 Renko chart, right? So we have all four of these different time frames that we can add a new solver to that time frame. So, but all of our work is going to be done in the default time frame, right? So looking at all these Darvis indicator, looking at the linear regression and stochastic, looking at those indicators are all going to be done on the chart time frame, right? Which is, again, the default time frame is the chart's time frame. So, all right, so we're going to grab a inflection solver, right? So that's how we look for changes in direction. And so with the inflection solver, we're looking for a price inflection. So we're going to take the input and change the type, change it from indicator to price. And yeah, so there we go. So we've got all of these, right? Every time the Renko brick changes direction, right, we're getting a little directional change output there. All right, so there's our long signal. Right? But now the next thing is we need to make sure, right, so that the previous bar, we need to make sure that that previous bar actually equals the Darvis plot, right? We need to make sure that that plot equals, or I should say, the close of that brick, the closing price of that brick needs to equal the Darvis plot. So let's grab a comparison solver to do that there. So let's give this a name here. So we're looking to make sure that the close price equals the Darvis lines. Yeah, so kind of like as we did in the previous, right, in the previous question, we're going to have to use the A equals B here, right? Because again, we're looking to make sure that the close of the bar equals the Darvis plot, right? All right, so how do we set these inputs up? So input A, we'll set that to price. So there we go. So we want to use the close of the bar, the closing price of the bar. And input B, that's going to be the Darvis indicator. So let's switch this over. There we go. All right, so if price is bouncing off the lower, right, the lower line, that's going to generate a long signal. So we're going to use the lower line for a long signal, and then we're using the upper line for the opposite condition, so to generate short signals. Okay, so there we go. We've got that. All right, so now we just need to set. We're going to take all these outputs here and turn them off, so that we can use the A equals B output there. There and there. All right. So, great. Yep, there we go. Okay. Now, remember, going back to the, inflection solver. All right, so obviously, an inflection, always happens afterwards, right? You need the bounce to finish to get an inflection. So, right, so the inflection's on the green bar, and we need to take this signal and push it onto the next bar. Oh, and also, actually, we need to reverse this. Yeah, see, we're generating a short signal when price, right, touches the lower line. So let's go into our input B here for our Darvis indicator, and let's reverse these. So there we go. All right, so now we're generating a long signal, right, for a possible bounce. And so we want to take this output and push it over onto the next bar so that it lines up with the inflection condition, right, the reversal condition. So we can do that by simply, right, for input A, we can take our price and we can set our lookback period to 2. So that's going to look at the closing price 1 bar back. And then with our input B, we can set the displacement of the indicator to 1. And now, there. So now we can see this long output was on the red bar, but now it's pushed over to the green bar so that it lines up with our inflection solver here. So let's take an AND node and connect those two together. Right. And there we go. So that's our, yeah, so if we look, we can see, right, all the bounces here are getting identified here, right? We're seeing all the bounces here. So let's kind of expand this chart out a little bit. There. All right, so there we go. There's a bounce off of the upper Darvis line, right, and a short signal. A bounce off the lower Darvis line. There you go, long signal. There we go, bounce off the lower line. Bounce off the lower line. Long, bounce off the lower, bounce off the upper line. So great. Okay, so we've got the Darvis bounces all done. So let's see, what's our next indicator? The linear regression. All right, so let's see. That would be this. So yeah, we're looking for, really it says we're looking for the linear regression crossing price. But really, to be technically correct, I can see that price is actually crossing the linear regression line, right? So, yeah, so price is crossing down below the linear regression line here. So, but also we want to make sure that, right, the linear regression is also moving in the direction of the cross as well. So like over here where we see price crossing down below the linear regression, we also want to make sure that that the linear regression is moving down as well. So that's going to be a two-parter. Let's see here. You know what? Let me let me change the color of our linear regression so it's a little easier to see. Oh, let's just make it white. White. That should be easy to see. There. All right. So if we want the linear regression to be, right, either moving up or moving down, right, with the crossover, then then we want to use the slope solver. So let's get back to our logic board here. And let's see, let's move this up a little bit. So let's grab again, from the default time frame, right? We want to make sure that we're working on the 4 Renko chart, right, which is our default time frame. So let's grab the slope solver there. And we can make sure that the linear regression is either, right, sloping up or sloping down. So let's name this here. Okay, so next let's change the indicator. Oh, there we go. There's our linear regression. Add that down there. Change it to a 10 period. There we go. So this moving average, right, it only has 1 plot, so that's already selected for us. And yeah, there we go. So, right, whenever the linear regression is moving down or sloping down, right, we're getting a short output. And whenever the linear regression is moving up or sloping up, we're getting a long output there. There. Okay, so there's the slope. So now let's check for, right, price crossing below the linear regression or price crossing above it. So we're going to grab a crossover like so. And let's get a name in here. So, all right, so we're looking for price crossing over the linear regression 10 there. All right, so input A, that will be our price, right? And we're gonna look at the close of the bar, right? The close of the Renko brick. And then input B, that will be our linear regression. There it is. Make sure to change the period. All right. And yep, there we go. So there's all of our crossovers. So yeah, so in the case of, right, of the right, price coming down and the linear regression coming down, and then when it reverses, right, price crosses that linear regression upward. So and so now we just need to make sure that the linear regression is sloping upwards as well. So to do that, we're going to use an AND node to check these two conditions together. There. So, and we can see though that actually, right, this got filtered out here. So I'm not sure if that should have been filtered out or not. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't always. So, yep, sometimes the linear regression responds quick enough. So we did get a bounce. Yeah, we did get we got a cross down and then we got a cross back up. But if you need to kind of allow the linear regression, right, to catch up, then what we can do is we can take the crossover solver. So our crossover solver down here, and it has a lookback period, and we can adjust this up to 2, right? And so what it did is it took the crossover and extended the crossover condition an extra bar forward to allow the linear regression to catch up. So if that's necessary, you can do that. So, but I will just adjust the look back to 1. So that'll keep a more conservative approach. So yeah, so some of these bounces might get filtered out, but then we can see some of these bounces are actually going to get through. So yeah. So all right, and if we just want to kind of see what we've got so far, I can take these 2 AND nodes, tie them together, and here's kind of what we have so far, right? So there's our bounce off of the Darvis with the linear regression, crossover, and slope direction. All right, there's another one there. All right, yeah, we can see a couple of these others. Get filtered out as it takes the linear regression just a little too long, right, to reverse direction there. All right, so let me disconnect that for now. And all right, let's name these AND nodes here. Okay, so there we go. So we got a couple of AND nodes with the various conditions. All right, yeah, so we've got the Darvis condition done. That's our upper AND node. And now we've got the linear regression crossing price, right? That's our AND node down at the bottom. So now let's do the stochastics. Yeah, the last one here, the final one. So we are here. Yeah, so we're looking for the stochastics to cross down the 80 and cross up the 20. Okay, so let's move our board around here a little bit there. All right, so now when we have these double crossovers here, right, basically a double crossover is when you're using 2 values, right? So we're using an 80 value for one of the crossovers, and then we're using a 20 value for another crossover, right? So that's quite often called a double crossover. And so that's going to require 2 crossover solvers. So again, let's go to our default time frame. Let's grab a crossover solver. Let's plug that in. Let's give this a name here. So actually this is going to be the stochastic crossing down the 80. All right, so input A, well, that's going to be our stochastics indicator. There we go. There's our stochastics. And remember, this time we're actually using the K plot, the K line. So let's select that plot. Make sure to select the K plot. There we go. Now input B, well, that's going to be that 80, the 80 value there. So that is going to be a fixed value, right? 80 is a fixed value. So we'll plug 80 in there, like so. And there we go. So great, right? Whenever we get the stochastic crossing that 80 line, right, bingo, we're getting cross up, cross down. So we're not interested in the cross up. So we want to get rid of these long cross up signals. You know, we're only concerned or interested in the cross down. So we're going to take this crossover solver and we're going to take the evaluate, and we only want to see the shorts, right? Shorts only. There. Okay, so that got rid of the cross above the 80 long signals. So now we're only left with the cross down signals. There. All right, so we've got this one. So next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little shortcut here. So I can go to the Solver tab, select on this Stochastics, right, crossover solver, and I can make a copy of it. And next, we'll look for crossing the 20 value. So we'll change the fixed value to the 20, right? So there's that solver, and let's put that on the board. So I need to go to my existing nodes, default time frame, and there's the stochastic crossing the 20. There. Let's connect that up. And so actually in this one, we're interested in a cross up. So, but if we look at, right, if we look at what we got, we have the cross downs, but we want the cross ups. So one last thing to do is change the evaluate. So now this time we're interested in the long cross up signals. And there we go. So there's our cross up and our cross up. And yeah, actually we got one over here too, a cross up. All right, so we have, right, two crossover solvers looking for, right, crossing of the 80 and the 20 stochastic values. So now basically, you know, these are considered as kind of one condition, right? One or the other. So this time we're going to use an OR node. So to combine these two separate conditions into a single condition, we use an OR node. Right? There. So now we can see the cross ups and the cross downs together, right, as one unified condition. So okay, so there's our last condition, right? And so basically all of these need to occur together. And let's name this OR node here. All right, so there you go. This OR node is a Stochastics 80-20 crossover. So now to combine everything together, let's grab a AND node, right? So we need all four conditions to be in agreement at the same time. So we're gonna put this all into an AND node at the end, and we'll see if we actually get anything out of this. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. So let's break this down and find out, you know, what's going on here. You know, why aren't we seeing any signals? And well, the obvious answer is because not everything's lining up exactly together on the same bar. So here we go. Yeah, let me take this as an example here to work with. Let's try and get, you know, these big bounces to produce some signals. So we'll use this as our little test bed. So, all right. So what we're going to do is figure out, what's not matching up here. Right. So out of these 4 components, right? So we have our time frame component, we have our price bounce component, we have the linear regression crossing, and the stochastics. So let's see, let's look at the time frames first. And so we don't have any time frames aligning. And it looks like I'm not getting any signals anymore. So, oh, no, here we go. We are getting some. Yeah, we're only getting a few. Okay, so we're gonna have to look at the time frames even a little more detailed. Okay, there we go. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look at each of these bar direction solvers one at a time. Okay, so clearly the bar direction solver on the 4 Renko chart, that's working fine. Let's take a look at the 10 Renko chart. Okay, that's working fine. Let's take a look at the 15 Renko chart, and I'm not getting anything from the 15 Renko chart. All right, let's see what's going on here. Yeah, so maybe BloodHound doesn't have any data from the 4 Renko chart. Let's see, or the 25 Renko chart. All right, well, let's see here. I do have my data feed connected. So let's reload all the historical data. Yeah, if I look, just looking at right, the label, I'm looking at the label for BloodHound down here. Yeah, and I can see, let's see here. Oh, sometimes it's tough working with these little drawing objects. There we go. All right, yeah, so I can see from BloodHound that it has the 4 Renko time frame loaded, obviously, because this is a 4 Renko chart. I can see, yeah, the 10 Renko is being loaded, and the 15 Renko, and the 25 Renko. Okay, good. So I know all 4 time frames are being added to BloodHound by NinjaTrader. All right, so let's get this open again. There. All right. So yeah. So our 15 Renko chart. There we go. We're getting data from it. And there's our 25 Renko chart. Let's check our 10 again. All right. So now. Great. So now I'm getting some results from the higher time frames. Well, I was, let's see. And oh, it looks like we lost the 25 Renko again. Let's see. Let's reload the chart. Yeah, there we go. All right, let me check all these bar directions again. And now we lost the 15 Renko chart, and there's the 10. So Seems like the 15 Renko chart and the 10 Renko chart are being problematic. All right, so let's try something else here. Let's try a little trick that NinjaTrader told us to do for NinjaTrader 7. So this was kind of Ninja's solution for this problem with NinjaTrader 7. So first, there we go. I just want to get back to this area here that we're trying to work in. There. Okay, so NinjaTrader's little trick for Ninja 7 was to open up a chart with the other time frames. Just open up a blank chart that had the other time frames. So let's switch all these over. All right, so I'll set this, there we go, to so this is our 15 brick chart on the NQ. All right, we'll make this chart the 25 brick Renko. Yeah. It doesn't look like we're getting all the data loaded here. Let's see. No, this is going back to the 4th. Okay. So, yeah, it looks like we are getting all the data loaded. Yeah, so there's the 6th and the 5th and the 4th. Okay, great. So 15 brick chart and a 10 or 25 brick chart. Great. And let me check to make sure I've got all 3 days loaded for my 15 brick. Yep. All right, good. Looks like I got all 3 days there. And all 3 days here. Here, I'm going to make one of these ellipses. Make it global. There. And let's see if I can find it. Yeah, here we go. Okay, good. And there's our ellipse on the 15 Renko chart. Okay. All right, so I just reloaded. All right, I reloaded the chart. And bingo. So it looks like this little NinjaTrader trick still is helpful with NinjaTrader 8. Great, so I'm getting all the time frames, or I'm getting the alignment, right? The correlation of all 4 time frames here. That's what we're seeing here in this, right? So let's open up BloodHound. Right, so our result node is connecting into our AND node that has all 4 time frames in it. There, so now we're seeing the agreement of all 4 time frames. So, great. All right, so we can, so actually we can see here that actually I guess these are bad spots here. For all the time frames don't align up when it bounces up. So let's see if we can find someplace on the chart here. Well, I've managed to find one spot there, but it seems like on these bigger moves, right, trying to reverse in the opposite direction doesn't ever agree with the higher time frames. Right, I mean, we can see this bounce off of this upper level here, right? The reversal, short signal is never going to work because all the higher time frames are in a long position here. And let's see the directions. Let me reread the directions here. Yeah, so the directions that I was given says if the 25 Renko, 15 Renko, and 10 Renko charts agree, look to make a trade in that direction. Okay, yeah. All right, so yeah, so here we go. Technically, we could take out the 4 Renko brick there. So yeah, let's take out the bar direction for the 4 Renko, and that might make things easier. So there we go. So we can see the higher time frames are all going long. So there's definitely no short off of that. But again, let's put this back here. There we go. So that little bounce higher. Great. There we go. We can get that bounce lower, possibly. And shoot, well, the time frames aren't quite lining up here or here. All right, there's another one. All right, so with this bar direction solver disconnected, that kind of frees things up a little better. Let's take a look at the overall system now. So now that we got the higher time frames working, let's see here. All right. So let's find out why we didn't get a signal here. Right? Time frames are working. Let's see, the Darvis bounce. Right? We definitely got a Darvis bounce right there. Let's take a look at the linear regression. And yeah, so it's a linear regression. But also, yeah, it looks like the stochastics as well. Yeah, our stochastics didn't match up. So, all right. All right, let's go back on the chart, find some of these other spots. There we go. There's another one that I marked. And let's see if we actually got a signal there. Nope. So, okay, so there's the Darvis bounce. That's good. The linear regression, nope, that didn't happen. And also, yeah, we can see that the stochastics, didn't get up to 80. So, all right. So let's check some of these others here. Let's see, so this bounce higher, well, our stochastics didn't get down to 20, so, and the time frames are in the wrong direction. Yep, our higher time frames are no longer in sync for a long. Yeah, this one could have been close. The stochastics almost was ready. Yeah, at least the stochastics got below 20, but yeah, we can see it crossed above 20 a little late. So again, guys, what I'm looking at is the higher time frame alignment here, right? Because that's the first condition. So that's what I'm looking at on a chart. So, when I see the higher time frame direction, then I can then look for a Darvis bounce, with that. And they usually do not align with each other. Yeah, the time frame direction is usually opposite of the Darvis bounce. Let's see, we almost got close here. So the time frame ended a little soon, but more importantly, our stochastics never got up to the 80 level. So again, nothing there. Yeah, just not getting much luck with this. Now, I imagine most of you guys are probably saying, well, looks like we should probably just go in the opposite direction of the higher time frames. And that should generate a lot of signals. So if you wanted to do that, let's take a look. Maybe we'll get a lot more signals if we go in the opposite direction of the higher time frames. So to do that, we can take a long short modifier, right? So we'll take the output of this AND node, and we're going to use the swap mode here. So we're just going to swap the long and short signals, right? Reverse them, swap them. Right, so if we look at that, there we go. Look, now, now we can see, all kinds of potential setups there, right? Bounces off the highs. Bounces off the highs. Yeah, let's see here. Bounces off the lows. Great. Look at that. Okay, so with the higher time frame reversed, looks like we might get a lot more signals. So let's disconnect this here. So now we'll connect that into the AND node. So let's take a scan through the chart now. Well, so we had 3 potentials here. Let's see, our stochastics looks okay. Well, kind of, sort of. Yeah, if we look, so what I did here is, right, we're looking at the stochastic crossovers here, coming out of here. And if we take a look, we can see the stochastic crossovers happen like on the second bar after the bounce, sometimes the third bar after the bounce, and sometimes quite a little ways away. See, 1, 2, 3 on the fourth bar after the bounce. Let's take a look over here. Here's another circle. So it waited to the second bar after the bounce. Right. So I don't know. Maybe I wasn't given a stochastic setting, but maybe a faster stochastic is necessary. Or if it's not a faster stochastics, then what we could do is we could take these crossovers and extend them forward in time. Right, so I could use a simple lookback node. And let's see, I don't displacement. Let's turn the displacement off. But let's take the look back and extend that to 3 and use the max there. So so if we look now, what we have is when the stochastic crosses the 80 or 20, we took that crossover and we kind of extended it forward by 3 bars. Oh, wait, actually, sorry. Gosh, no, we don't need to extend the crossover. We actually need to take, basically, we need to take the other conditions. So if we look at what we have here, so here's basically some bounce signals right, without the stochastic requirement. And so we can see that they happen on the first, right, reversal bar. So we're getting the signal on the first reversal bar, which is before the stochastic crosses. So we kind of need to take, these three requirements, right? The time frame, the Darvis balance, and the linear regression. We need to take those and extend those forward so that the stochastic cross can catch up. So let's extend this forward here. There. Yeah. So we've taken, right, the higher time frame, the Darvis bounce, and the linear regression cross, and we've extended it forward 3 bars. So that way, the stochastic crossover has a chance to catch up. So now we need another AND node, like so. So now if we take the stochastic double cross requirement, plug that in, and there we go. Yeah. There, we can see we got the stochastic cross, right? Our stochastic cross, along with our little Darvis bounce, right? So the stochastic definitely is kind of delaying the signal an extra bar, but it is what it is. It's not my system, but yeah, again, maybe just faster stochastic settings might resolve all this and give you some earlier signals. So there. And let's see, what about this? Yeah, this signal here. Yeah, this one in the middle here. Here. We do have a stochastic crossover. So it looks like we might get it on the second bar here. Yeah, so why didn't we get a signal here? Well, if you look at the linear regression, it's still sloping up. It took it an extra bar before it started sloping down, right? So let's take a look at our linear regression, right? So we're looking at the linear regression condition here, or logic. So we got our cross up, but we didn't get our cross down. So let's look at each individual solver here. Right, so yeah, so if we look at these bars here, let's zoom this out there. So yeah, we got price crossing above the linear regression, and then we got it crossing back down. So we did get, right, a short output when price came back and crossed back down, crossed our linear regression back down. But if we look, the linear regression isn't sloping down yet, right? It doesn't slope down until the next bar. And let's take a look at the slope here, right? So we're looking at the slope solver. And so, yeah, the linear regression, right, it's moving up, and then it goes flat, right? It's perfectly flat. And then it starts sloping down. So we had the crossover here when the linear regression was flat. So the crossover happens first, and then the slope down happens second. So if you want to, yeah, if you want to kind of allow, you know, if you want to allow the slope of the linear regression to catch up with the crossover, with the price crossover, then what we can do is we'll take the crossover, right? The crossover happens first, and then the slope down happens on the next bar. So we need to take the crossover and there we go. So we need to take the crossover. That's weird. There we go. We need to take the crossover and shift it one bar forward. And again, remember with our crossover solver, we have this lookback period built in. So I can set that to 2. And there. So now our cross down is extended forward an extra bar. So now if I look at the AND node, so now we've kind of fudged things a little bit. So we got the crossover happening first, and then the linear regression gets the slope down, and then we get our linear regression requirement met. So, okay, so now that we've kind of made some adjustments to the linear regression condition, I think we're going to get a signal now. So let's take a look here. Let's plug that in. And let's see. Not quite yet. What's happening? Okay, so the time frames, the higher time frames are short. Let's check the Darvis bounce. And yep, we have the Darvis bounce. And oh, yeah, so the linear regression happened one bar late, but the Darvis bounce happened right here. So, yeah, so our Darvis bounce, let's mark it, it's happening on this bar. But the linear regression cross and slope happens one bar after. So we need to take the Darvis bounce, right, and extend it forward an extra bar. So let's see, how can we? Let's see. Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of ways we could do this. You know, if I wanted, I could go in and adjust the two solvers here. Right, so remember this is our come on. There. So this is our Darvis bounce logic. So I could take the inflection solver, and we can see it has a look back period. So I could increase that. But then I would also need to go into our comparison solver. Right, so remember the comparison solver is checking to see if the close equals the Darvis line. So, right, the comparison solver is checking for that right there, right? The bar is touching the Darvis line. So I'd have to take that condition and also extend it forward in time. And I could do that because I have look back periods. But, oh, no, actually I can't do that because we're using an indicator. So the indicator has a displacement. So the displacement it pushes things forward in time, but it doesn't extend them out for multiple bars. So I will need to use a look back node again. So let me get this disconnected here. So I can take this look back, and we'll just extend the Darvis bounce for 2 bars. There. Yeah, so we'll set the displacement again to 0 and set our look back to 2 and set the mode to max. There. So now our Darvis bounce is good for 2, right? We've extended it forward for 2 bars. So that way we can allow the linear regression conditions to catch up. Okay, so let's zoom out a little bit here. So let's connect this look back into the AND node. Now let's take a look at that AND node. And there we go. So there's our time frame, our high time frame, the Darvis bounce, and the linear regression cross. Right? So remember this indicator, this AND node, right? It's looking at 3 conditions here. It's looking at these 3 conditions here, right? The linear regression, the Darvis bounce, and the higher time frames. So actually I'll take this AND node and let's add an H in there for our higher time frame alignment there. Okay, so now that we've got now that we got 3 of the conditions, and we can see here, right, there's where our stochastic crosses down. So now that we've kind of made some allowances, even further allowances, now we should get a signal there. And there we go. There. All right, let's take a look at the chart. Let's see where we're at. There. All right, so we've got these bounce signals now. And yeah, this one over here just wasn't materializing. You know, price did move up a little bit before it pulled back, and it just took the stochastics a little too long, you know, to cross that 80. So yeah, so I don't want to make too many adjustments to this. And we can see here that I guess sometimes if you do extend your signals forward a little too much, right? We did get a signal here, but it's on the bounce, right? But price made a little double top, and then it moved down. So, but you know, that is how the market goes sometimes. Yeah. And great. So we got our little signal here. Yep, and we even got this little bounce here. So there we go. So with some, you know, some minor adjustments, we're now getting a lot more signals here. Let's see over here. Yeah, we can see it just took the stochastics a little too long to cross that 80 level there. So, all right. Yeah. So, you know, I made these adjustments here just to provide additional training, you know, an extra lesson here, you know, about you know, how to make you know, allowances or adjustments when you have a bunch of conditions and they don't quite line up exactly on the same bar, right? Because this is very common where, you know, you can have, you know, 4, you know, or more conditions, and they'll almost never seem to quite line up exactly on the same bar, right? They always, usually one condition is slower than the other. And, so like in this example, our stochastic double cross was the slowest condition, right? The stochastic is moving the slowest, and so it need the most allowances, all right? And so what we had to do is make the rest of the conditions, right? The time frame, the Darvis bounce, and linear regression. We had to make them basically wait for the stochastics to catch up. And the way we did that is we used the Lookback node, right? So the Lookback node, took these conditions and extended them forward in time until our stochastics could catch up. Right. So there you go. So that's why I made all these kind of extra adjustments, just to show you guys, how to use a Lookback node, and how to analyze each condition, each kind of indicator requirement, I guess you could say, each indicator requirement, indicator condition, how to analyze them all separately and see, do some, or some of the indicator conditions take a little longer, and how do you make the other conditions, how do you project them forward in time, right? So obviously the Darvis bounce is going to be the first thing that happens, right? So we had to take the Darvis bounce, extend it forward an extra bar to allow that linear regression crossover to catch up, and then also to allow for the stochastics to cross up. All right, well guys, I am done with this